All right, it says we are live. Hopefully everybody can see us. We're trying out some new software today. Can you guys hear us and can you see us?
We're in the loft this time and we're not sideways.
Yeah. Oh, good. They said they can see us and hear us. That's good.
Okay.
All right. So we're doing live stream tonight because basically I don't have a video to post. So we've been busy on a lot of projects that are multi-day projects. So definitely, yeah, I just don't have anything to post. So I thought we'd just kind of do an update this way on how we're doing.
Yeah.
So anything that you want to mention? That
it's been really cold. Well, we had like 2 nice warm days, kind of melted part of the snow, but it's really cold again.
Yeah, so we had a couple really cold days and then it just instantaneously warmed up above freezing and you start to see grass again.
Yeah, for the first that's I think that's the longest we've had snow on the ground in a while.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Yeah. It was like I can't remember when we've had snow on the ground that long.
Yeah.
Because typically when we get snow, it like what 2, 3, 4 days later it's gone. You know, because we're always around that whole like freeze at night and thaw in like above freezing during the day typically, and snow just doesn't stick around. And it's about to get cold again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like is it tomorrow night or the next night? It's going to get back down to maybe negatives at night.
Yeah.
So
did your solar panels get covered with snow and produce less?
Yes, they did get covered with snow, and I had some people ask about that. I'm going to try to show a picture. This is hopefully this new software. I'm going to try this. I'm learning, okay? Share screen. Maybe this won't work. There we go. Okay, so they did get covered with snow, but the good thing about it is it took a few days, but as soon as we got a sunny day, being on a black roof and black solar panels, they melt themselves off. That's the good thing. Usually it's not covered in snow for very long. So that one side over there didn't melt off for a while, the newer solar panels, but that's just part of it. Luckily, we don't get a lot of snow. This has been a cold January.
Yeah, coldest it's been for a while. I saw somebody asked about the bull, how he was doing. He's doing good.
Yeah, we think that the treatment that we gave him, we think that actually is
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, his hair's looking better. His skin's looking better. He's not itching. So he is looking much better.
Yeah, and there's a picture of Rebekah with Tyrone. And you can see in that picture, you know, he had all his hair when we originally got him. But
it's starting to fill back in. He's looking better. And with still none of the others are really showing any signs that I've seen. I've seen him itch on the trees a couple times, but not seeing hair loss and not noticed like anything excessive. So
somebody says our audio is repeating. I don't know why it would. We don't have any speakers on. I'm not sure.
Does anybody else have our audio repeating?
So Maya, she does have a little bit on the back of her neck that looks like it's missing, and they've all been rubbing on them pine trees.
Yeah.
So that's the only other sign we have seen, I guess, of.
But probably we may treat Tyrone again here, what we said, in about another week, and we may try to just run everybody through, as long as it's nice and dry. So.
Yeah. Well, apparently, oh my! Apparently, we were not caught up on comments. It doesn't. We were way off. Okay. No, the sound is perfect. Good.
Okay. Has he been doing his job? The only time we saw him active was a week after he came here, and they should have been in heat last week. So we've not noticed anything else going on. We're hoping that means they're pregnant, but
Yeah. So yeah, so far there's no signs of heat, no chasing the girls around. So
Yeah.
we've decided that we'll probably, like we were talking about this today. So we probably take him back. We're thinking February 7th. And if we don't see any of them go into heat, we think that we'll probably end up taking him back, because that'll be, that's right around 45 days or maybe longer.
It'll be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and if they went into heat the first week after he got here, that should be like 3 heat cycles. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have calves. So,
yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah, but you can't get too attached to them. So they're going to be a beef dairy cross calf. If it's a boy, we'll make them a steer, and then they'll end up being beef. So we'll probably number them, just give them a number instead of a name this year.
But if they're females,
we'll probably keep them and just build the herd that way. They won't be like a perfect beef cow, but at least they'll be half beef.
Okay, Farm Toys. Now you're over. I can't see the message.
Here.
Did you find a new tedder?
Hit that show right there. There you go.
Did you find a new tedder and rake? Kane Equipment has some good used ones on the lot that are in really good shape.
I don't know if I know what Kane Equipment is,
or
where that one is. There's a big farm auction over by Effingham, Illinois. That's, I think, the beginning of February, middle of February. I usually hit that one and see what they have. They usually got like 2 or 3 rings going at the same time. But no, I have not found I'm not really looking for a tedder, but I am looking for like another rake. That's the only implement. But a tedder and a rake are both implements I don't have like spares. When you run like really old equipment, it helps to have like extras. That's for sure.
How did the electric side-by-side do during the cold weather?
Yeah, so I had somebody ask me to leave that outside, and I left it outside the other night when it was negative. It said -2 on her car when she got up in the morning, and I did video that. That'll be in the next video. You can tell that it didn't have like a lot of pep. You know, it didn't have that acceleration. It probably didn't have like the top speed that it had before. Is about half speed maybe. So you could tell that the cold weather definitely affected performance. But I mean, it still got me where I needed to go and do things. But you could tell that when a battery gets cold like that, it doesn't have the current flow to be able to really power the machine like it would in the normal temperatures.
Are you going to the National Farm Machinery Show?
Oh, that was this one.
No,
it's moving on me. We're trying to figure this out. Yes, I'm going to the Farm Machinery Show. I am planning on being there. What is it? The 13th and 14th, the Thursday and Friday. That's when I'm planning on being there. I might be there a little bit Saturday morning. But yeah, Thursday and Friday, I'll be down at Louisville, Kentucky, February 13th and 14th, I think. Thursday, Friday. So
somebody asked if there was any chance that the case tractor would be a project.
I'll tell you. It needs. I would like to at least get the power steering on it fixed. So when I first got that tractor, I mean, So understand, when I moved out here, I didn't really drive tractors. I may have moved one in a parking lot a couple times or something at the place I worked. But I didn't know tractors, and it didn't seem like it had power steering, the case tractor. And I thought it didn't. And turns out that like once you got to remove that whole hood. It's kind of a pain to get in there, but there is a power steering pump, and it had been completely dry. And so I put power steering fluid in it, and then it did have, it miraculously worked, kind of. And I put brand new belts on it, but it just squeals. Like it doesn't like you to be above like 8,000 RPM or 800. I forgot what it is. There's a like mid RPM is about the max you can run on it. And so you can't really do anything with the PTO. You basically run it in idle to try not to get it burn that belt up. And I think the whole power steering and like the gearbox, like the gearbox for the wheels, I think all that needs rebuilt. And it would be nice to get that at least where it runs normally.
Let's see. Dave May, he was asking how we control our temp in the house with the wood heat, because
it's a little warm up here right now, and the loft is a few degrees warmer.
Yeah.
And the fire is going. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. That's one thing I will say about our fireplace. I love our fireplace, but the fan is a little bit loud, and we were used to it because it's got that blower on there. Mm-hmm. But to control it, there's a damper control on there, and basically you just turn that down so that you control the airflow to it, and to try to get it to not burn as hot and fast. But anytime you add wood to it, you really need to like kick it up and get that new wood burning for like about a half an hour, and then you can turn it back down. And then there's other times you just let it burn out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you just don't need it to put heat out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Are you still taking the loader off the D17?
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it off. I did buy like a hydraulic pump to put on the front of the tractor, but then I would have had to add like a hydraulic reservoir, and you could have added like an auxiliary hydraulics to it so that loader would actually like move like the way it's supposed to. Like right now it's like 30 seconds or something to lift it up. It's ridiculously slow, and I'll probably just leave it off and use it for like pulling. I hear Maggie. She's growling. She's blind. She thinks we're down there probably.
Yeah. Oh, who will have the milking chores once the cows have calved? I don't work full time, so I only work 3 days a week. So I'll be able to do it on my days off.
We'll see.
And we're gonna calf share, so we're not gonna milk twice a day.
No, yeah, I don't. There's no reason for us to milk twice a day, that's for sure. But it'll probably fall on me on half the days of the week at least, probably.
Yeah, well, I like you, so.
Yeah, we don't know if I don't know how we'll handle that if they both have calves at the same time too. So we may do one day and one the other day, and let the calves have all the other time. I don't know, because it'd be nice to get them both at least trained up.
It'll be a learning experience, that's for sure.
Yes. And I would like to get them like an actual milker.
Yeah.
So it does it. So it's somewhat automated to make it easier.
I saw this Cartwheel kid. He's asked a couple times why the name changed. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know what happened. If that just all of a sudden. So that has been the name on my channel for a long time. Where it shows the Small Town 442. I've had a lot of people mention that. I don't know if that just started showing up differently or what. But originally the channel was Small Town 442, and that was when we lived back in a small town of 1,100 people, which is actually the biggest town I've ever lived in. Mm-hmm. And that's what the original name of the channel was. And then when we bought this property out here, we called it Country View Acres. And then I just kept that little Small Town 442 on there because a lot of our older videos, that's what the title and everything on the videos said. So I may go ahead and take that off one of these days.
Yeah, so don't confuse people.
Yeah, I think like to change your name on there on Google account, like it'll only let you do it. Maybe it's like once a month, but you just can't change it very like super often.
None asks, can you please remind me of the brand of system you use to monitor electrical usage inside your panel? Oh,
Emporia. Yeah. Emporia Energy Monitor. It's neat to know. I mean, if you're really wanting to know how much energy you use, and like it's like down to the second, like so you can watch it. It's pretty neat, and I think it monitors 20. The one I have monitors I think 20 circuits that you can have it monitor, or you can just get like a simple one and it'll just only monitor your main power coming in and out. But Emporia Energy Monitor is what that's called. It had where you could do notifications on it, like if you did use too much power or not enough power, you could notify you. But that hasn't been very, what do you want to call it, consistent, because I tried to use that on my septic aerator and on the freezers to like know if a freezer stopped working, and it's just like hit and miss on whether that notification works. So that's kind of disappointing. That's the only disappointing factor in it.
Yeah. Will you incorporate part of the aeration system into the pond bridge?
Okay, so no, probably not on the bridge. Now I have thought about building a dock, and the aerator probably wouldn't go on the dock either. I'll probably leave it about where it is. But if I built a dock, I did think about incorporating the sprinkler pump into the dock, and that would give the sprinkler pump kind of a home and where to irrigate from the pond with. But I also thought you could like put a 3-way valve on there, and then you could like switch a valve and you could have it pump out to like a fountain in the pond. I think that would be pretty neat, where you had this sprinkler pump. You could either, water the garden, or you could have like a fountain in your pond. I think that would be neat maybe in the future.
I've seen a couple people mention my bookshelves.
Yes.
Said his wife's looking forward to seeing my bookshelf project. So am I.
Yes. So that's kind of what I'm working toward. I know that I need to do that. So this last week, I have spent a lot of time. One was kind of organizing the garage and kind of cleaning things up. And then I was finally able to get stuff moved out of the way in the workshop enough to set up the paint booth, so that I can get Alice Chalmers parts painted, and then hopefully I can get the rear end of that tractor together, and at least be able to roll it out into the garage portion where I can use the workshop for woodworking, which is really supposed to be the intent of that area. I used to do a lot of woodworking when we lived in town, and I haven't done that in a long time. And hopefully I get the tractor put back together out of there. I can work on Rebekah's bookshelves.
Yeah.
So
do you have help on the farm, which we don't see in your videos?
No. I work by myself 85-90% of the time.
Yeah.
And then it's Rebekah. That's it. So no, I always try. That's kind of the challenge, I think, is that I'm always trying to do things by myself. So you're always trying to figure out how to do certain things by yourself. So, but no help. I have a lot of people email me, like, I think they're a lot of people from other countries that want to come and like live on the farm and be a farm helper. And I don't have money to pay somebody to help me. Yeah. Yes, I am considered automatic. Well, a milking machine. Somebody asked about that. Mm-hmm. So here I want to do one other thing before we. Sorry about your comments. I want to show you something. So one of the things I've been working on, I talked about the log splitter, that I was going to try to make a, we call it like a big work surface that would go around the log splitter so that it would hold logs and I could split logs and everything. So I've fabricated that. And that's one of the projects that is taking really long time, is because it took me a day to fabricate it, but it's taking me like probably about 4 days to get it painted. So here I'll show you a little snapshot. Hopefully it's not as easy to share a screen as you want. So there's what the rough shape of it looks like. Right there, you can see the large working surface that fits around the splitting head of the log splitter. And see if I can show another one. This sharing is not as easy as it seems. I thought I was just going to share the screen. I can't switch things on the screen. So here's a closer up picture of the work surface. Or I don't even know what to call it. Like, I haven't come up with a good name for it yet. It's like the log splitting table. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely a neat looking project. I think I'm going to be real happy with it, but it's in the middle of painting, and I'm going to have a dedicated video on building that. I think that's going to be very helpful for cleaning up the firewood shed, getting it all split up and in totes.
Is the freeze dryer still working out for you? Yes.
Yeah. So we haven't ran in a few weeks. But during the holidays, one of the things we did, Rebekah did a ton of cooking, right? And after the holidays, she has all this produce left over.
Yeah.
Right. So then we freeze dried that. So we had like carrots,
onions,
celery, and then we like freeze dried that. And then later she ended up making some gnocchi soup, and we ended up using some of that stuff like in the soup, you know, a week or two later.
Yeah.
But that's coming real handy for like just like extra produce and stuff. Not even gardening season. Just like you go buy a package of something, you only use like half of it, and then you can freeze dry the rest. So
yeah, I want to try to freeze dry spinach. See how that goes.
Yeah, we freeze dried a bunch of sourdough.
Yeah,
starter. Yeah. We've played with candy quite a bit. Like everybody likes the candy, so then like we end up
holidays too. So.
We take candy over for the holidays and stuff to people.
Yeah.
There's more down below, but yeah.
These don't move the way that it does on the phone.
No, like you got to keep scrolling, I think.
Will I start my own channel like DJ Arms? No.
I've tried to talk to her about like doing She's always like in here cooking and stuff. She made homemade pizza tonight. Yeah. But what happened to the big bridge project? Well, that's on our goals for this year. So I've got 2 trailer frames, and I'm thinking about using both of them to make it sturdier. I'm thinking about cutting them up and using two trailer frames so that I have 4 I-beams, I think, to go across to help make it sturdier. But that's a project for this summer.
James Turner. Want to know where in the loft my bookcase is going to go? It's going to go behind what you see.
Yeah.
So behind our computer here, there's a window, and it's going to go along that wall.
Yeah, so you can see how the roof is angled. So that bookcase has to come up, and it has to match this roof line, and it has to angle with. I'm trying to match, try to do that backwards, but it's got to match the rafters and try to fit into this space like it's not a built-in, but it's going to be custom, and I want it to look like it belongs, you know, up here in the loft.
How many animals do we have? We don't even know.
I don't know. I'd hate to count. During the summer, we've counted before, and we've ended up with like 7. When we have all the chickens and turkeys and stuff like that, it ends up almost being like 100.
Yeah. We're way behind on comments.
Yeah, we're way behind. Yeah, this thing's definitely not scrolling. Wow, that's a lot of comment. How can we be that far behind on comments? Sorry, it is hard to keep.
Somebody else had homemade pizza tonight.
Yep. Somebody said they can't wait for the Alice Chalmers. Yeah, I'm just trying to get all the parts like painted. That way I can do a video of mostly just like assembling it and trying to get some of it back together. So that's a bigger job than I think anybody realizes. Like, I completely understand why people tear apart tractors and then they never go back together, because the tearing apart is, even though it can be a struggle, that's the easy part for sure. And I mean, there's just so many hours in cleaning. That's what kills me, is that to make an Alice Chalmers like video, I would probably have to have 4 days worth of work to have anything of substance, because it would just be a lot of cleaning and painting, and it's just very time consuming.
Yeah. Mary Ellen asked, what do you use the sheep for?
So, we sell them for meat. Yeah. We sell lambs for meat. Once we get a certain size, I'm not sure how many will, we'll end up having, but then we can sell used and stuff like that as well.
Double L Farm asked me, cats or dogs, asking for my kids. Well, if you would have asked me a couple years ago, I would say 100% dogs. I was never a cat person at all. I did not like cats. But since we've had barn cats, I do like them. They are easy.
Yeah, they're not in the house.
Right.
Too.
But I've probably always been more connected to dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So her mom bought a
Beagle.
Wish
I had a
puppy.
beagle growing up. So
yeah. And it's about to chew through her entire house, I think. Yeah. Puppies can be a challenge.
Yep.
How do you plan? Where did I see that one? They moved too, though.
How do you? Yeah, the woodshed.
How do you plan on the woodshed?
Maybe when?
Maybe I don't know. So I got to clean it out, and then we're going to tear it down, and then we'll rebuild it, and it'll probably be a little bit bigger than it was before, or at least deeper, so that way I can use it to park implements in as well. Probably use half of it for wood splitting, I think, and half of it for implements. We'll see how it goes.
Is your house true timber framed or stick home?
Yeah, it's
exposed beams.
It's a hybrid. Let's just put it that way. So the walls they're 2x6 construction, and they're completely filled with a spray cellulose. It's a spray-in insulation. It's not foam. The basement has some foam in it, and then the roof. That is actually the roof rafters right there. That is the structural part. The roof is actually a timber frame structure. That's where, and it's exposed, but that is the roof. And then on top of that, there's this tongue and groove boards up here. And then there is like 6 inches of insulation or something. I can't remember. It's like a foam board insulation. And then there's another sheet of OSB, and then it's the roof. So I don't know. That's probably like 8 inches thick on top of that of total wood and insulation.
And Art Smith want to know what the square footage of our home is. I think it's bigger. It looks bigger than what it actually is.
It does. Yeah. So the first floor, it's like 1,228 feet, something like that. It's about 1,200 feet on the first floor. And then this loft adds another maybe 500, maybe. That may be stretching it. And then the wraparound porch is actually 1,400 square feet. There's more square footage on the porch than there is the first floor. That's what makes the house look big, I think, is that wraparound porch. And it's only a one bedroom on the first floor.
Yeah, 1 bedroom, 1.5 bath.
1.5 bath, and then we do have another 2 bedrooms in the basement. It's a walkout basement and another bathroom down there. And then we have it set up where it could have another like small kitchen and a living room down there, because we originally thought it would be like a mother-in-law suite, or like somewhere that, if we have elderly parents later on in life, that they could always move in the basement, and they can walk in and out right through the walkout basement, and you could drive around.
Future planning.
Yeah, we were trying to
ahead.
Plan for the future. I got my phone somewhere. There it is. Dark.
I saw a couple people ask about your garden plans. You talked about changing the garden, and
yeah. So we're gonna take the fence down. I mean, it really serves no purpose, and we've had that one end opened up this last year completely. But it's not gonna be a fenced-in garden. The raised beds are 3 feet wide, and they're way too wide to try to weed and pick from one side. So if I was going to leave it a fenced-in garden, and if I was to do it over again, I would have made those outside beds smaller. But we're going to take down the fence so that we can reach those beds from both sides, and then we're going to make them taller, maybe another foot or so taller. And then I think we're going to put some raised beds in the middle, and I think we'll put the fabric down, but not put any holes in it. I mean, so that it's just basically fabric with some raised beds on there. And that's the main plans. There's been discussion of, maybe possibly making like a little tool shed in the corner because we actually have nowhere for any of our garden like tools and stuff like that. And we've also talked about like a little miniature greenhouse. I don't know if any of that will happen, but we'll definitely do the raised beds and take down the fence.
Yeah. Are there any venomous snakes on your farm?
Never seen one that we know of.
We had thought out by the pond, like remember there were some out there?
Yes.
That we thought looked like they could be.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're just a common water snake. That they have a pattern. That water snake has a pattern that makes it look like makes you think that it's venomous. Like it looks dangerous. And they're kind of aggressive. Yeah, like we would move the boat, and there's been times where we moved the boat and there'd be 3 or 4 snakes under it. Mm-hmm. And but they would act like they'd want to come at you. Like but they don't. I don't think they have that diamond shaped head that a venomous snake has.
I still don't like them.
Yeah, Rebekah will. Yeah, she's the person when she sees a snake, she runs over it with a lawnmower. Right? Yeah. I've seen her go crazy with a machete.
Yeah,
and it was at the firewood shed.
Yeah. Well, there was like a bucket of snakes. I think it was a bucket I picked up or something. There was just a pile of them. So. Yeah,
but she's got this machete. For some reason, she thought that she needed this machete. Well, this is her machete. Yeah. And she's like whacking away at this snake, and it's concrete. So you just see these sparks going everywhere. Of course, she's just hitting the concrete, and that snake's trying to get away. But she hates snakes.
Yep.
I usually let them go, but she won't. If she has something dangerous, she'll kill them with it.
Well, when we first moved out here, there were a lot of snakes. We have much less snakes now. So.
Yeah. When we moved out here, I wish we would have filmed way more back then. We weren't. Yeah. It was still a hobby, YouTube back then. But you've seen the case tractor. The grass and all the weeds was as tall as the case tractor, like the hood and it was just so crazy thick out here. Mm-hmm. And it had been overgrown for so long, like the ticks were crazy bad. We would come in, we were living in the camper, we'd come in, we'd pick off like 4 or 5 ticks on us. We'd find ticks all over in the camper and all over in our bed. And it was terrible. And then the snakes too. But now that, we've been out here so long, you keep it mowed for a few years and all that kind of goes away.
Yeah. And I know that the snakes eat the mice, but we had more snakes than mice. We had too many. And we have cats now, so cats are nicer than mice.
Yeah. And well, you got Sydney and Scout. They've killed some mice here lately. And of course, anything they kill, they put on the front porch, right in front of the door. They want to show us everything they kill. Yeah. So Rebekah about steps out onto a mouse a couple times here lately. And of course, that just freaks her out, even though it's dead.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like to even look at them.
No.
Somebody said they saw an outhouse on our last video.
Yes, there's an old outhouse on this side over by the pond. So when we first bought this property where this house is, there was an old barn that was falling down out here where the Circle Drive is. And then out by the pond, there was this little shack. They called it a beach house because there's actually a section of the pond where they put sand out and it was made to be a beach. And then the outhouse was off to the side, kind of back a little bit by this tree. And we've never taken that out. It still sits out there. Everything else is gone, but that outhouse.
I thought it looked cute, remains. But
that tree, there's a tree growing against it. So that outhouse is slowly tilting.
And mice like to get in there. So
probably
it may have to go at some point.
Yeah, one of these days we'll probably take it out.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any plans of building a barn in the new field? Mm-hmm. Yes. That was one of our goals too. So we want to put I wouldn't call it a barn. I want to put some kind of livestock shelter. Probably like a 3-sided structure where animals can get in out of the wind and out of the rain, and put that in the middle of that field and then rotationally graze around it. That's the idea that I want to do. And then that way we can do like what do they call it, like the spokes in a wheel, and just kind of rotate around, and you can make your sizes of paddocks as whatever you want it to be. And that's what I would like to do. Yep.
Somebody must have missed. Bluegrass Farm asked if you're going to the farm machinery show in Louisville.
Yes. Yep. Thursday and Friday, I'll be at the farm machinery show. February, I think it's 13th and 14th.
Yeah, that's
pretty sure. It's always the farm machinery show is always on Valentine's Day, so it's always that week. Seems like. I'm pulling up my calendar.
Evan will be there. I will be here.
13th and 14th of February. Yep. Rebekah will be taking care of the farm.
Yes.
Did you ever test your silage? No, we have never tested any of our hay or silage, but that is something we may do in the future.
I saw somebody else that asked if the silage froze or freezes.
I'm afraid it does, because it's like, I mean, it's like dripping wet. When you open it up, it's like sopping wet is what it seems like. And I'm afraid it is. So I just haven't been feeding it during the cold weather. I'm waiting for it to warm up.
I saw a couple of people ask about the well and the well house.
Yeah, so I've always wanted to develop a well, at least get one working. So there is 2 wells on the property. They're both shallow wells. One's very old, which we showed this summer. And then the other one is like a spring-fed well. That's really weird. I've tried to show it in videos several times, but the water level in the well is actually higher than the ground. It seems like that would be impossible. It has some positive pressure under there or something, but it has a pitcher hanging in there, and you can reach down and you can just grab you a pitcher of water. That's how high that water level is in it. But when I drained it, I pumped that one down. It was only like 5 feet deep. It wasn't even very deep. It just somehow fills up with spring water. So I don't know if it would flow quick enough. But yeah, one of them I would like to develop. We'll just have to see what happens.
I saw a couple of people ask about your wall of shame.
That
was coming along.
Yeah, I just keep collecting pieces. That's about it right now. So one of these days, when I get everything in the shop organized and stuff, the wall's all finished, I'll make it.
I think White Church Farm Outdoors asked about us graining the young bull for next year. I don't know if do you mean feeding them grain? Is
that what you're meaning? Like feed him grain? We probably wouldn't feed him. We're not planning on feeding grain, if that's what you mean. Training. Does it maybe mean training instead of graining?
Maybe.
Yeah, not really for sure. So the bull, yeah, hopefully he'll be ready. And he'd probably be rough. I probably shouldn't be ready by next year. But if we do what do you call it? Instead of breeding them in the wintertime, if we breed them in the summertime, he would be more likely to be ready by then. So we'll just have to wait and see how that all plays out.
I think we missed a couple comments about asking about the fish
in the pond.
Yeah, a few people have asked like how the fish are, how the pond's doing.
We fished that one day, and I did catch, like, the biggest one I caught was a bass that was only like maybe 10 inches long. I mean, so I mean they're getting bigger. Probably next year we'll actually be able to catch fish and fillet them and have a fish fry. So it seems like you have one of them kill offs, and it stunts everything. You got to wait a couple of years. It seems like come back.
Yeah, but the herons have been out here quite a bit, so he obviously sees fish.
There's fish. It's just the ones we've caught have been really too small to eat. Yeah, so he was saying he raises bulls. He'd give them about 10 pounds a day to make sure they were big enough. Graining. Okay. I don't think we intend to do that. We'll see what happens. We're going to grain feed the steers, and I'm trying to figure out how I can do that and not feed the heifers or the dairy heifers. We may have to separate them or something, but we need to feed them out because they're going to the butcher in like March and April. So we are in that 3-month the last 3-month window to try to pack on some pounds. And in the wintertime, it's harder for them to hold their weight anyway. A lot of times they'll lose weight in the wintertime because of the cold weather. And
which our girls were a little chunky anyways.
Yeah, the dairy cows were big for what they're supposed to be.
I saw this question a couple times. Are you going to do anything on the property where the mobile home was?
No, that's right next to the cemetery. So the only thing I would possibly do would be just clear it off a little bit better, because it's just full of concrete blocks and trash right now where it was sitting, and just clear it off so that people could park there for the cemetery. So, but no, I have no plans on doing anything over there. There's like a creek that separates where that mobile home was. There's like a creek that comes in, or a ditch that feeds into our pond and goes through that cemetery. And it separates where that mobile home was from that 12-acre field in the front. So it's really not like, you just can't get to there unless you go down the lane, so it's not really connected very well because of that big ditch in between.
I've seen a couple people ask if we plan to get honeybees.
I have no desire to get honeybees. My uncle raises honeybees. He gives us honey every year.
Yeah, so we're supplied with plenty of honey.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have plans to have horses? No.
Nope. Yeah.
I'm actually not a huge fan of horses.
She had horses next door to her when
I was a kid, and I got bit by one
on the shoulder.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So I think they're beautiful, and I think it's cool watching people ride horses. But they're not for me, I don't think. Yeah,
I don't have a desire. There's a lot of maintenance. We found out when we looked at donkeys, because we did look at donkeys, and they're very similar to a horse. There's just a lot of maintenance.
They're a little more finicky, and they live a long time. So.
Yeah, you can't give them too rich a feed, or they'll flounder. You have to file their teeth down and trim their hooves. I mean, there's a lot.
Someone asked if I was still working. Yeah.
Yep.
I am.
She's part-time. She's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that. Yeah, she's only 3 days a week at the hospital. She's been part-time since she's been a nurse.
Yeah.
She's always been like a part-time nurse.
I was a PRN nurse.
Yeah, she used to float the entire hospital wherever they needed her, and then then you went to medical rehab, and now she does this planning.
Yes.
Patient care planning.
Discharge planning.
Mm-hmm. Which is a day job, because she was always night shift before.
Yeah.
Which is why we got along so well, because we were never together. So. But she said she didn't think she'd ever be a day person, but now she's the one that gets up at like 5:30 in the morning, no matter what. Earlier. Sometimes earlier, without an alarm sometimes. And she's always the one that seems to get up. I got up first today, actually. But she usually gets up and goes out and opens the chickens up and stuff before I even get out of bed sometimes.
Yeah.
I get up at like, no, you get up before 5:30. What am I saying? I get up around 5:30. Yeah. You get up at like 4:30.
Yep. Are you going to get more pigs this year?
Yeah, we'll get more pigs. We'll see what happens there. I'm probably going to redo the pig pen a little bit. We'll see what happens. There's a bunch of trash in that pig pen. And if things go the way I plan, we're going to get another. We got a dumpster, like it was last year. We got a dumpster. The year before that, we'll get another dumpster. Do something again where we do a big cleanup and tear out some of them old fallen down hog hooches and stuff like that. And then we may redo where the fence is on the pig pen, because we may try to get it to where that the old well is not inside the pig pen. And then that will maybe give us the opportunity to try to do something with that well.
I like having pigs. They're cute. I've seen this question. I think
but pigs, we don't make money on pigs.
Yeah.
Like pigs, we basically break even, or we may not even break even on pigs. And the cows, at least we do make money on cows. But the pigs, that's why we only do like 3, because it just goes to friends and family. We like raising them, and But the cows, at least we make a profit with them. Pigs are hard because you're buying all their feed.
Yeah. Have you considered an overhead roll-up type garage door instead of sliding door for the animals?
No, probably because they would see, animals are rough. Cattle are rough. I think they would rub on it and everything. I'm afraid they would dent it or tear it up. And that's an expensive door. A roll-up door is very expensive. I have all the hardware for the sliding door. I bought everything, all the wood, all the hardware, and then I forgot to buy the barn metal that goes on it. Like I've got enough to build like the frame and hang it, but the weather has not cooperated.
Dale Wallace asked if our trash people ever came.
Yes, they came yesterday. Yeah, they came yesterday. We forgot to pile up all our trash. so Rebekah ran out there and filled it back full again. Yep. So
let's see. I know a couple people.
Somebody asked if the heifers have got bred. So far, it's looking that way.
We're hoping.
We're hoping. No signs of heat.
Yes.
So.
Oh gosh, we're behind again.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with all these comments.
Have we always lived in the country?
So, you want to go first? You want to tell where you've lived, roughly?
Well, I was born in Florida. So I was born in Kissimmee, Florida. We moved up here my 5th grade year. So, I lived in not a big town, I guess.
There's a few thousand people.
Thousand
and then
people.
Then you moved out to the country.
Yeah. I moved in a township, and there was like 12 people that lived there.
Yeah, it's smaller than it. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So that's when you're in high school, basically, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So she lived in a town of like 12 people. And then I grew up in a town, I think it's like 111 people, something like that is what I grew up in. And then when I was 21, I moved to a town that was 1,100 people. So yeah, we've always got, I guess, in the scheme of things, we've always lived in small communities.
Yeah.
Somebody said something about the trailer again. Yeah, we're gonna use the trailer for the bridge is what I think we're gonna use most of it for. Across the pond.
Have we thought about having a breeding pig and selling piglets? No.
Pigs
are so. I absolutely love pigs, but they are rough on the ground. They're stinky. So to have them year round.
Well, the wintertime's terrible with them.
Yeah.
Like we would have to have a whole different setup. Like we keep them out basically on a pasture. It's it's woods. It's like a wooded pasture. And if you want to keep them like in the wintertime, we would definitely need some type of a shelter to keep them in and keep their water thawed. They're terrible to keep in the wintertime. You have to have some type of building to make it easier.
Do we have hats in stock now?
Yes.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably have at least 30 hats left. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But if you go to order them, you should see there's plenty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that because we had ordered like 100. And we had like 50 people request an in-stock notification. So I was like, well, I got 50 people requesting. So I'm like, I'll order 100. And then they didn't come till after Christmas. I'm like, I bet you we sit on all these hats, and luckily most of them, we've sold like 70 of them. So that's good.
Yeah.
Do you plan to work on the AC tractor soon? Yes, we're going to try to at least get it on its wheels, put it that way. Off the jack stands.
What type of trees are in your woods, and have you thought about getting a sawmill?
Yeah. So depends on which side you're on. We have a lot of hickory and a lot of walnut is what we have quite a bit. There's some oaks. There's some bigger oaks and stuff out there, but there's a mix of everything, when you're in the woods. But it seems like walnut and hickory is pretty common around here. It's Carol. That's my aunt. And a sawmill, I would think I would like to have a sawmill. I have a place picked out for one, but I just don't know if we'll ever get there. The thing is, you can get like I don't know what they are, like $3,000 or something $4,000, you can get like a little manual sawmill, but not anytime soon.
Would you expand your property if you could?
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
There was Nikki and so Nikki, Joe and Nikki. So Nikki is the when we showed the well, and it had Clarence and Myrtle Meisner's name on there. That was her grandparents that had poured that concrete and signed it around that really old well.
Were the turkeys profitable on pasture? Those are mostly for.
I don't know how you'd make profit on a turkey though. They eat so much food.
They do.
Like it's crazy. Like you can about calculate up how much the meat chickens are going to be, but man, turkeys, they're more of a novelty, I think. They go through so much food, and they take about 18 weeks. So it's a lot.
Somebody sent us.
Yeah. Think about adding an EG4 battery inverter to a new home build. What size would you recommend for a standard 200 amp service? So you guys probably know I got another channel that's for solar, and I have a lot of EG4 stuff. And for like the 18K PV, it will pass through 200 amp service. You can either go that route, or you can go with the Flex Boss and the Grid Boss, and you can use that combination there for a 200 amp service. So we got another one. Yeah, she likes to cook. The problem is, I think she cooks for everybody else. Seems like she's always cooking for church all the time and for other things. Anytime there's an event, and she's always happy to cook for it.
Yeah.
I'm still up like 5 pounds from Christmas. I haven't done very good losing weight.
How's the orchard doing? The chestnuts you planted.
So we have 2 orchards, I guess. Our fruit orchard needs pruned, and the chestnuts, we replaced most of the dead ones in the one section.
Yeah.
And we got chestnuts this year, quite a bit, first time. So it seems to be doing okay. I still got several out here. I think I got probably 30 trees down there, probably at least, that I'll probably have to plant in the spring if they're not dead, that are still in pots.
When are the sheep going to have their babies?
We think March, right?
I was thinking right around April 1st. So April Fool's Day, that's when they would be the 150 days. So.
Yeah, the rams went in November 1st. Mm-hmm. So have I ever cooked in a Dutch oven or cast iron in general? Yeah, I cook in cast iron like every day. So we have a gas cooktop. Rebekah doesn't cook in cast iron much, but I have like a whole cast iron collection, and I always cook my breakfast in cast iron. I cook in cast iron quite a bit. And we used to do camp when we used to camp all the time. That was our thing. When our kids were growing up, we spent probably a third of the weekends camping, it seemed like. So we did a lot of campfire pies and Dutch oven cooking and stuff like that. Yeah.
I've seen a few people ask if we had kids and how many. Newer people. Yeah, we do have 2 kids. They're grown. Both
boys.
Yep.
I
bet Evan's an Eagle Scout.
No. I was just a kid that liked playing in the fire. That was and fireworks, and still have a shooting range. Haven't used it too much. We basically just shoot when there's predators. Seems like they haven't taken much time to, I guess.
We're too busy now.
Yeah, too busy to do much of that. We did a lot more of that when we lived in town. That was our way to get. We always go to a shooting range and stuff. We would go when we lived in town. We were very competitive.
Yes.
Even our kids. We'd all 4 go and shoot against each other. But and it was when we first got the property. But now that we got livestock, I mean, we have so many things to keep us busy. We don't. It's hard to even fish. I mean, to do the enjoyable things.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people ask if we got a deer this year, and there's another one asked if we hunt. We did not go hunting this year. We have so much meat we're expecting in the freezer that we did not need a deer, so we did not hunt this year. Oh,
somebody asked if I had a stick welder. Yes, I have a stick welder, and I have a MIG welder. And what is I think it's an Everlast stick welder. It's actually a TIG welder, but I use it for stick welding because I don't have a gas bottle for TIG yet. Did you see something else?
I saw Carlos.
Somebody
said you now have one less hat, so he must have ordered.
Oh,
thank you.
Oh, thank you. So somebody asked if I received the shed drawings, and yes, I did. Sent me several renditions of firewood shed designs, ideas. Yes, I did get that. Thank you.
How far do we live from St. Marie and the feed mill?
Oh, I don't know. It's maybe a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
And that's where I get the pigs too. That's where Derek lives, near that area. So that's where we go and pick up our feeder pigs that we purchase. And that's another reason why there's no reason for us to raise pigs when we have such a good source for feeder pigs.
Mm-hmm.
What's the progress of the dog run off the pole barn? Well, I mean, the dog kennel and the run's all been finished. It's just the fence was temporary because we need to regrade. It all needs the ground needs to be built up and regraded all around it. But dog kennel works fine. It's got Rebekah, when we put them in there, they got an air conditioner or a heater, and they're pretty spoiled.
Yeah, raised beds. Yep.
They're running around outside right now.
Yeah.
So we call them lightning and thunder in the evening because they'll see something at night and they just take off, and you can hear them on the deck, on the porch.
And it sounds...
Yeah, it sounds like lightning and thunder in here.
Yes. I saw someone asked if I have a good sourdough bread recipe, Peggy.
Yeah.
I think my recipe's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it can always be improved. I think every time you...
The thing with sourdough is it's a dense bread. So if you like soft white bread from the store, sourdough is not the same. It's going to be a lot denser, heavier bread.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh, wow. For treats for the cattle from one farm kid who loved working with calves, love you giving your bull a chance.
To buy some treats.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. What's a good treat we ought to get?
Maya will be very happy with any treat I think we get her. She does like apples, though.
Yeah, that's one thing. We probably didn't show that. I don't think much. Maybe we didn't even show it this year. But every time we had when the apples are on, we're always grabbing apples and going out there. And then I get out my pocket knife and we're feeding apples to the cows.
Yes. So Karen, we will definitely get the cows some treats. Has Rebekah thought about a veterinary course?
She just watches videos and reads anytime we need something. So her medical background at least helps her understand.
Yeah. Before I went into nursing when I was a teenager, I was contemplating vet medicine. But I went the other way. So.
Yeah. Well, she thought she was going to be a doctor at one point in time too.
Yeah.
So Dale was saying something if we didn't know of any bobcats on the property. We've had bobcats. We had pictures of bobcats. I haven't had any trail cameras. Most of our trail cameras have died. We may have one that's working, and it's in the barn right now because we kept on getting skunks and possums and stuff in there. But yeah, we have had bobcats. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we have any right now.
You have
41 acres. Yes. 41.112 or something. Yeah, we had it surveyed when we bought this property, and that was a fiasco. Maybe you go to buy land, they want to go through all these hoops to try to make it fit the government loan, criteria, and they wanted to take all the farmland out, and they just wanted to get a loan on the house, and then we would own the farmland and just the house. But then once they looked at it, the house was falling down and ate up with termites so bad, they said, we can't give you any money for any of these buildings. We can only loan you on raw land. Mm-hmm. So then the whole survey we did was almost null and void. It was almost a waste of money. But
he also asked how many acres are dedicated to grazing and how many to producing feed. Do you think that'll change?
I say we got about 15 somewhere. I mean, once the 12 acres in the front is, you counting it that we just got fenced in, we got about 15 for grazing and we got 6 for hay.
What style of fencing do you prefer?
I like the pipe. I do. Anytime in the past, we did a lot of wooden posts, and we would drill those, auger out a hole, and then pack in the dirt, and we'd never get it. Those posts would always move on us. So I think if you're going to do a wooden post, you about want to drive them in. That way they're like in there really firm and less chance of moving. But with the metal posts, I can drive those myself with the driver on the tractor. And now with those bolt-on kits, I don't have to sit out there. I would spend most of a day to weld out a brace, and like a double brace or a corner or something like that. And now I can basically pound the posts in and bolt it together. And I could, as long as all my pipe was painted and ready to go, I could have it done and probably have a brace done in an hour, way faster.
Joe the farmer.
Yep, I saw Joe, and then that's Wade, Supreme River Valley. That was Wade. Yeah. He was asking me. He sent me a message earlier asking me about electric fence and the ground rods. So, and yeah, I was talking about how ground rods, like a lot of times they want you to use multiple ground rods. It's more important when you got dry ground for sure. A lot of times I put my ground rod, I'll try to, if it's near like a building, I'll try to put it near a gutter so that there's always water and it's always moist soil where the ground rod is.
Do you have any tips or suggestions for somebody starting a YouTube channel in your niche?
In my niche? Well, if you want to start a YouTube channel in my niche, there's different ways to do it. Everybody's got their own thing. A lot of people start out with the how-tos and all that stuff, and then you have more the vlog style, which is more what I'm doing. I guess my only thing is the thing people have to get over and get their head wrapped around is it's not necessarily about the job as it is about the camera. So the camera always comes first. So then you're always moving the camera. The job takes 3 times as long. That's the hard part to get around it, is that you always got to get the shot, and you always got to tell the story, and you need the shot to tell the story. And that's the hard thing to get around, is that you got to remember, don't let that camera just sit there and die in one place. You got to.
And that's why I couldn't start a channel, because when I want to do something, I just want to do it and get it done.
Right. So but the difference is, if you made a cooking channel, that's a different platform. In a cooking channel, a lot of times you're standing in one spot, and you just take 2 or 3 cameras and set them up, and then you just switch between them when you edit. And
you're trying to talk me into it.
I'm still trying. Tried it. We joke around about her quitting her job next. Mm-hmm. So the YouTube thing has worked out really well. Yeah. It's been 6 months, maybe more, 6-7 months that I have been full-time YouTube, and it makes the advertisements. I get almost all my money that I get paid is through the ads in the videos that you watch. I know a lot of people complain about the ads, but that's how I get paid, and that's how I can do what I do. And it's working out good so far.
What editing software do you use?
I use Filmora, and I have used it for probably 4 or 5 years, maybe. And I somehow got in some. They had something available one time where you buy some package, and I got like lifetime updates. And I've never had to buy it again, so I get an all new version every year. I don't know if they still offer that or not, but I think I got a good deal when I got it. So. Yeah, I said somebody says about the copycat page. I have tried turning them in a couple times.
So they have thousands of followers. The ones we found only had like
30 or
10.
something.
One had 10.
I guess if somebody knows of copycat pages, maybe they don't have. I just searched Country View Acres to see what other people have named them my name. But if you know of copycat pages, I guess you can go to their page, and like the little 3 dots off to the side of their title name, you can report them for impersonating somebody. But you can always, I guess, send that link to me too, and I can always report them. But that's copyright infringement. That's what that is. They're and more than likely they're from outside the country. Facebook would just take it down.
My sourdough. Maybe I'll post my sourdough recipe sometime. You can like link it in one of the videos.
Yeah. I actually, every time I show you cooking, I always have people like, where's the recipe? Like, why didn't you give us a recipe? Like,
well,
you
when
showed
I
the
watch videos, I always look for recipes.
Yeah. So I just never think of that. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. Dale hates hearing his voice on a recorder. I saw a few people say that.
Oh, that is a tough one to get used to. If you ever watch any of my old videos, I never talked to the camera. I was always behind the camera, or I was always kind of in the distance doing something, like full body shot, nothing close up with my face. And the first video I made talking to the camera was when we put the propane tank out here when I was building the house. The house was basically done at that point in time. And that's the first one I actually stood there and talked straight to the camera. And it's very hard to get used to, and it's hard to get natural at it, like to make it seem like you're actually just having a conversation with somebody. So it's really hard to get used to.
Andrew Dirk asked if where would he send the link for the copycat pages?
You can send it through Messenger right to me. I will say, if there's I'm not really great at replying on Messenger and looking at Messenger. Usually the way my day goes is I get up, I get out, I do things, right, and film. And then, by the time it's 6 o'clock at night, I'm just ready to sit down, and I'm not the greatest at replying, but you can send it on Messenger on Facebook.
Yeah. Or
you can always send it to our email address, which is it's in the description of every video is our email.
Somebody asked if I carry the medical insurance. We actually buy it on the marketplace. So
since she is part-time, she does not get benefits.
And the hospital I work at does not have good insurance anyways.
Yeah, it's like their own insurance.
Yeah.
Like they're self-insured somehow, and it's like, and then it's not very good for their employees. But
so we buy it off the marketplace.
Yeah, we buy it off the marketplace. And this year it went up. They got the same exact coverage as last year. I think it was $1,430 last year, I think. This year it's $1,666 a month for healthcare.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, that is really hard to quit your job and to try to be self-employed when you're going to gain $1,600 bill every month. That's just, it's crazy. Is Pete not posting videos? I've had a lot of people ask me, is Pete on Just a Few Acres Farm not been posting lately? He normally takes a break around Christmas. I know I've seen people ask if I watch him and stuff like that. I haven't talked to him. I know last time I had a lot of people reach out to me, and I sent him a message, and he's like, he told me he was just taking a break last year when he didn't post a lot of videos. I haven't messaged him this year to ask him.
Yeah. Someone asked how we met.
Work.
Yes. I broke stuff, and he fixed the stuff I broke, and that's how we met.
Because I was at a factory, and I was the maintenance guy, that fixed all the, that would fix the automation equipment. and she just was very good at breaking things. So
maybe on purpose.
she might have broke a few things on purpose just so I'd come out and talk with her. I don't know.
Yep.
So we met, and we actually emailed and like messaged. We were on different shifts sometimes too.
Yeah.
So I would work a lot of overtime, and anytime I was on her shift, I would stop and talk to her, but we would email back and forth, and we kind of like, I don't know, flirted with each other for about 2 years. Yeah, it's basically 2 years. And then we finally started dating. We went out with a group of people on her birthday, and we started dating. And 4 years later, we got married. So I couldn't hold off any longer. I made her wait 4 years. I finally had to marry her. Yeah. So
somebody said Pete did post, pinned a comment saying he was taking January off.
Oh, I saw he posted one after Christmas, and that's the only one. I think it was at a farmer's market thing. The hard thing is I don't think a lot of people understand is that you can get burnt out on this. Because I've worked like 7 days a week. People probably wouldn't believe it, but I do. Like I had Jimmy email me the other day, want to know what I was doing or something. And I didn't reply back because I'm not good at replying at messages. But I had just been like editing from 8 o'clock till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was having a heck of a time. But I spent most of that day at the computer. About a third of my time's at the computer. But I don't take a day off. And the comments, I don't think a lot of people realize, like, you have so many great comments out there, tons of great, reassuring, encouraging comments. And that's not the ones that stick in your head. It's the ones where somebody's like, you need to do this, or what are you doing that? You're an idiot. Those are the ones that stick in your head. And you get called an idiot 30 times a day for a year, it builds up, and you just get burnt out. And you got to have pretty thick skin. When your channel's small, you don't get a lot of that, but as you get bigger and bigger, the more and more negative crap you get, and it weighs on you. So I took a little bit of a break right around Christmas. I took a few days. I didn't post as much right around Christmas. It was nice. Man, we've been on here over an hour.
I know.
My goodness.
Somebody said, but you're a funny idiot. I like that.
Funny idiot. Yeah. I don't know about that. I'm not that's what surprises me is like, I don't know why. I think people watch my videos. This is my thought, and I'm probably 100% wrong, but I think people watch my videos because I feel like I can edit it so that it maybe flows and doesn't get too boring, but I don't feel like I'm a very entertaining person myself. I'm not like Rebekah is way funnier than I am.
No,
she is in real life. She is my entertainment, and but I'm just not like a funny I don't know person. So I don't feel like I'm that entertaining. I think I can edit it to make it look entertaining. So
I think you're entertaining.
I think you're hilarious most of the time. Well, we've been on here for a long time.
Yeah.
We actually have a TV show we're going to watch tonight. It's getting kind of late. But
yeah. I've seen a few people that are close. Effingham. I think I saw someone was from Olney.
Yep.
Not too far away.
I know I've had people message that are from Mattoon. We've had people message from Terre Haute.
Yeah.
Vincent's. I mean, we got people all around us. Yep.
We should probably wrap up. Maggie's getting mad.
Yeah, Maggie's making noise again. So, yeah, we'll probably wrap this up now. We've been on here for way longer. This is the longest live stream we've ever done. And trying to
more comfortable up here if we get used to the comment thing.
Yes. Well, it's hotter up here though. I was surprised when I saw you had started the fire back up. I was thinking, oh man, it's gonna be hot up here tonight. So, yep. I think we're gonna go ahead and go. Hopefully I will have a video out. Probably won't have one out tomorrow, but I'll hopefully have one out Monday. Yeah. And then I'm hoping to have this log splitter modification I'm hoping to have it maybe by Wednesday out. So hopefully I'll have some videos out soon. But man, everything is just time consuming.
Yeah.
I've spent the last 4 days working in the workshop all day long, on my feet all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have much to show for it right now, but hopefully soon. So
Well, thank you guys for coming
Yes.
to chat with us.
Yes, thanks you guys very much. So appreciate it. It's you guys that encourage us, that keep us doing this, and what make it possible for us to live our dreams like this. So we do appreciate it very much. So
Yeah.
we hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.